What's going on YouTube?
Washington.
This is boy for here once again. Hey, what's going on YouTube? This is your boy Jabardi4 here once again, and we're here to finally pick up. I finally caught up, you guys, on Queen Sugar. This is an amazing show. This show is so good. The acting is so well done, and it's just incredible. Now, unfortunately, I'm a little under the weather right now. I woke up, throat was all scratchy and whatnot, so I'm like, oh crap, here we go. But I'm working through it, taking some Tylenol. So you'll have to excuse me if I feel a little drugged, but I'm still trying to, do what it do. So this episode starts off where it did last one, ended with just this bomb being dropped about Ralph Angel and this will of, their father and concerted to this land. And Nova and Charlie ain't having it. They are not happy. They are not with it. So they're all in this state of just emotion, okay? Everybody's in their feelings right now. And so they all kind of go to their respective corners. Nova leaves out, Charlie leaves out. Ralph Angel's just sitting there with Aunt Vi just looking distraught and crazy. So Aunt Vi ends up going into Nova's room where Nova shares how her father would often pressure her to have children, pressure her to get settled down with a husband, and how she felt that no matter what, her father never fully accepted her, because you guys know that Nova, on occasion deals with females. So I'm sure their father probably knew that and may not have agreed with it. It wasn't necessarily specified. But she felt like that when Charlie and Ralph Angel came along, and how Charlie was this big successful person, and Ralph Angel was, I guess, his one and only son who he probably had faith in, that he would be satisfied, and how both Charlie and Ralph Angel gave him grandchildren. He thought he would be satisfied, but yet she still never felt like he was. Like she was always being judged, and being cut out of the will of the farm made Nova feel like she was being punished in a way for being who she is, and her not going down the traditional path that her father from the older generation probably does. And it affects her a lot, because even though many of us may grow up feeling like we know we do what we want to do, it doesn't really matter what our parents think or what anybody thinks, we still do care about how our parents feel about us. Deep down inside, like if we feel like they're disappointed in us, it does hurt us. Now, sometimes we may not show it, and we may not necessarily act on it, but I do feel like, people who we respect and love, their opinions matter to us, and that's why I felt like she kind of broke down, because she felt really jaded by her father and his decision to always give the farm to Ralph Angel. So Aunt Vi brings everybody back to the kitchen table and reads out the letter as it's stated to everyone so they can hear it for themselves. And Charlie and Nova kind of look at it like, well, he never brought this to his lawyers to be, I guess, finalized or whatever. And they're making it seem like he wasn't in his right mind when he made this decision. And I believe it was Nova who mentioned how this is kind of a coincidence that he wrote this, or it's dated around the time when Ralph Angel just got out of jail. So they're trying to make it seem like, they only gave it to Ralph Angel because he needed it and he made all these mistakes and X, Y, and Z. And of course, this ruffles Ralph Angel's skin, because Ralph Angel has tried very hard to make things right with what he's done in the past, make things right by being a proper father to be a proper father to Blue, and just trying to do things the right way. And he says over and over again throughout the episode how Charlie and Nova only see him for his mistakes, and how his father always was able to see him for something more than that, basically. And it gets to a point where Charlie has a business call. Of course, they're still on the heat of the moment. Charlie has a business call where she has to, give some paperwork to one of the farmers. And Darla is there, alongside Ralph Angel, trying to be a support system. And Charlie says, well, I need you to go fill out the paperwork for this farmer or whatnot. And Ralph Angel says, no, I need you to stay here with me, be supportive of me. She's, my lady. She's my son's mother. And I think Charlie tried to make it seem like this is a family affair. And she said, well, she's family now because she is Blue's mother. So it really puts Darla in a very uncomfortable position. And, Ralph Angel feels like, well, I need you to be here. I was, trying to be there for you when you needed, help with your sobriety or whatnot. And I don't know why you can't be here with me. Whereas Charlie's like, well, she's my employee. I'm paying her to do these things. She came to ask me for a job, and now it's time for her to fulfill those commitments, So they leave out, and Ralph Angel's like, I can't believe you would do this, X, Y, and Z. And Darla basically was like, I did this because we needed money. The only reason why I lost my traffic job was because I left work to help you with your sugarcane, cleaning of the sugarcane, whatever. Because I stopped what I was supposed to do and tried to help and be there for you, Ralph Angel, I lost my job. And it's only by God's grace Charlie gave me a chance to have this job. So I can't allow you to manipulate me to believe that I should sacrifice my livelihood somewhat and my key to helping my sobriety because you and Charlie aren't seeing eye to eye right now. Me and my job with her has nothing to do with what y'all two got going on. You see what I'm saying? And it really was unfair for Ralph Angel to put Darla in that position because he knows that they need money. He already broke it down how, he wants to have swimming lessons with Blue. Blue needs X, Y, and Z for school or what have you. Children cost money. And Ralph Angel isn't necessarily the highest paid person in the area right about now. So any money that's legit, they can come into the household no matter where it come from. Well, that's not wrong to say. I don't want to say no matter where it come from, but you know what I mean. Whatever, legal job, tax-paying job that you can get, it is what it is. You just have to take that. You can't tell her to not go and commit her duties and then get her fired. But yet when she has all this idle time and then you see her doing whatever she was doing before because she doesn't have any responsibility now, that'll be your fault. And then you're gonna judge her then after that. So I just felt like it was wrong for Ralph Angel to put Darla in that position. And I am glad that Darla was able to stick up enough for herself to realize I can't do that. I cannot risk this golden opportunity that has been given to me and throw it away because of a petty argument. I can't do it. And I'm proud of her for doing that. I really am. So Aunt Vi makes her stops to Charlie's room and try to figure out, where she's at, where her head's at. And Charlie gave a backstory of how, Aunt Vi was always there for her in the summertime when she was a little girl. Even though she didn't have a room at Daddy's house, I believe, where, Nova and Ralph Angel were, she always had a room for her at her house, and she never made her feel like Daddy's other daughter. So if you hadn't known already, Ernest, their father, was with Nova and Ralph Angel's mother, where Nova was born first. And apparently, there was an affair that happened where she had with another woman who was Charlie's mother, and they had Charlie. And then Ernest and their mother got back together and had Ralph Angel. So Charlie appreciated Aunt Vi for not making her feel like just the bastard child, so to speak. That, this is just not some, random, what's the word? God, what's the word I'm looking for? It's right on the edge of my tongue. Illegitimate. I think that's the word I'm looking for. She didn't want her to feel like just another illegitimate child, so she took her in. That's still her niece. So, because a lot of times in situations like that where if you have a sibling and your daddy goes out and does some stuff and brings back an unwanted sibling, there's a chance for there to be some friction there. And so she appreciated how Aunt Vi was always there for her, but at the same time, lately, she feels like everything is about Ralph Angel. Everybody has to help Ralph Angel. Everybody cares about Ralph Angel's feelings. And nobody's really fighting for her because she feels like she should just be okay because she probably, is, I guess, the best off financially of the three. So she feels like nobody's fighting for me. And so she breaks down and, of course, Aunt Vi has to sympathize. And, she didn't mean to do that. Which I think a lot of times we subconsciously feel like people who have money don't have real problems sometimes, and we feel like, oh, they're rich, they can do whatever they want, they can get whatever they need as far as help or what have you. But money really does not always buy happiness. It helps. It makes things easier, but it is not the key, if that makes sense. So this is where ish hits the fan. Okay, so Nova and Ralph Angel just start getting like personal because at this point they bring their mother into it, and they talk about how Daddy wasn't even faithful to their mama up until she was pregnant with you, and she believes that the reason that he never filed this letter to give Ralph Angel the farm is because he was waiting, so to speak, for Ralph Angel to kind of get his stuff together, get back on his feet to where he was able to run the farm. And they believe that since he didn't send it to court or give it to his lawyers to put in his actual will, that he never got to the point where he felt like Ralph Angel was capable of running the farm properly. And so that's why he just kind of kept it to himself. And you can only imagine how that kind of makes a person feel like they didn't have enough faith in you at the time of their passing to really pass on this rite of passage. And I really did feel bad for Ralph Angel. I really did, because he wanted to feel proud that his father believed in him, but his sisters are kind of dumbing it down, making it feel like they're not, or he's not capable. Which, I mean, in all honesty, let's be real. Up until this point, everything that's needed to keep this thing going has needed money, and if it wasn't for Charlie, it wouldn't have worked. And I want to say that's really what Charlie was just trying to say. I don't necessarily believe she's trying to take from Ralph Angel, but she was just saying that, how are you going to do this on your own? I just feel like her delivery probably wasn't the best. So, after some digging from Nova about this land situation, she discovers how Aunt Vi used to actually own, if not half, a large portion of the farm, and she sold it to Ernest, their daddy. So she approaches them and tries to figure out, well, why? And Aunt Vi gave a long story about how she was 17 at the time, and she gave her share of the farm to Ernest because he was there, And she ended up going off marrying some guy who Ernest hated, who ended up, physically abusing her. And, luckily she did divorce him. And after that divorce, after she was free, her brother Ernest ended up coming to her and apologizing for, not being there to protect her from the situation. And they rekindled their relationship because they were not speaking for years over that decision of basically that guy that she was dealing with. So she emphasized the point of how, land is nothing but, just a bunch of dirt, but family is what really matters. So I'm glad that they were kind of able to get that out there because, like, monetary things will really tear a family apart. Like, when somebody dies and there's a will and there's, like, money and land and property or something involved and people try to figure out who deserves to get what and why, it can really tear a family apart very easily, which I feel is being showcased here. And I'm glad she was able to get that point into where all this is just land. At the end of the day, y'all have to be the one to have each other's back because y'all have to support each other. Y'all need each other to thrive, basically. And as we saw in the previous episode, Charlie opened this mill and she kind of had like a little breakdown because there was an issue that happened on the opening night. And this reporter who's been trying to get the scoop on Charlie saw it. And she basically had to bribe him to not showcase her losing her mind and said, in exchange for you not writing about me going crazy, I'll give you the exclusive that I'm getting a divorce from my husband. So she mentions this to Remy. And Remy basically believes that I can't believe that the person who her father used to brag so much about would be so willing to use her marriage for personal gain, basically. And of course, Charlie got offended by this and told him to get, GTFO. But I feel like afterwards she understood. I feel like she knew where he was coming from and she just didn't want to hear it at the time. I feel like we oftentimes are very like that. When somebody hits us with the truth, we're not really prepared for it like that. So we're likely to kind of push away and push back. Ooh, excuse me. But at the end of the episode, when Charlie is asked again, how do you think your father would feel about you reinventing yourself and opening this mill and X, Y, and Z? At first she was about to give like the political answer, but then she stopped and was like, I don't know. Because now, after this whole will has come out and that she doesn't really think of, she's not involved in this farm, it's like, I don't know what my dad probably thought about me. In all honesty. And lastly, what else do I want to talk about? So now Darla and Ralph Angel are like in this very weird, uncomfortable space to where she came to the house. She's like, I know you're mad at me, but if I could just see blue, I don't want your anger to get in the way from me being a good mother to my son. And he's like, so this how it's gonna be? Forget about my feelings. We just do whatever. And I'm just like, Ralph Angel, again, we talked about, you put her in a very bad place. I felt like she made the right choice. And I feel like you just have to sort of accept and separate the fact that she has a job and you and Charlie are on, good terms right now. It's a good chance that you're going to get on better terms, but it would be stupid for her to risk losing her job over petty argument, like we mentioned before. So now he's feeling like, oh, we're not together anymore. But, after talking with Hollywood, he's like, look, basically this too shall pass. You're going to wake up every day, do what you got to do, and we're going to get to where we need to get to. But that was this episode. This was supposed to be the mid-season finale. I'm not sure when they're going to come back on, but I love this show. I cannot wait for it to come back. I hope they don't wait forever and a day to bring it back. But thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you leave your comments down below what you thought about the episode, what your favorite part is. How do you think this is going to go from this point forward? And I love you guys. Like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Like, share, subscribe. Washington.